Test-driven development will help you create code quickly and also ensure that you have quality within the code that you deliver. Test-driven development is an agile practice that ensures that no code is written unless it's written to pass a test. So you need to have a test created for any code that's written. You also need to make sure that you are unit testing. So when you write code that then calls into other modules, you need to use test frameworks to actually spy or stub out those calls to ensure that you're testing just what you need to test, not the wider integration. You also need to ensure that you test common problem areas. So for example, in JavaScript, which is an untyped language, when you're doing a comparison, you need to be careful. Are you doing a string comparison or are you doing a numeric comparison? So on the slide, if I'm doing a numeric comparison, 5 is less than 11. But when I do a string comparison, 5 is greater than 1. The character 5 is greater than the first character 1 in 11. So 11 as a string comes before the string with 5 in it. So you need to put tests in to make sure that you're covering any common areas of common mistakes. When you test, in a traditional model, you tend to leave the test till later on in the development cycle. With an agile process and a practice like test-driven development, you want to move the testing as soon as possible into that development cycle. So if you're thinking of testing as a pyramid, in a traditional model, you'd usually do a little bit of unit testing, maybe a little bit more of integration testing, and then you'd have your main system test block at the end of the process. What we want to do is invert that pyramid. Unit tests are cheap to run. I can run thousands of them every second. So I want to have most of my testing moved into the unit test phase. I then want to do a few integration tests to make sure that everything hangs together, and then some select handful of system tests. Maybe let the user acceptance tests be part of my system test, for example. But the key thing is most of my testing I want to be done as unit tests. So that's why it's important to have, as you've seen, the good tooling, but also adopt a practice that pulls testing as part of the code writing process, not as an after part.